You have been feeling your legs heavier lately. Climbing stairs has become more difficult, or getting up from a chair requires more effort than before. Many people believe that this is normal over time, that losing strength is part of aging. But what if I told you that there is a common habit that you do every day without realizing it, that is silently weakening your legs? This habit is so daily, so automatic, that almost no one questions it. It seems harmless, even comforting. But repeated daily, it gradually deactivates your muscles, compromises circulation, and weakens the signals between your brain and your legs. When you realize it, you are already slower, more unstable, and having difficulty doing simple things that once seemed natural. In this video, you will discover the 5 most common habits that are weakening your legs every day, and also simple and practical tips to strengthen the muscles again, without the need for a gym, without depending on medication, and more. I'll show you an extra tip that can accelerate this recovery process in a natural and powerful way. What you are about to hear may surprise you, and may even bother you a little, but it is exactly this discomfort that paves the way for change. And if you've made it this far, it's because you're ready to flip that switch. Scientists from various universities around the world have come to a unanimous conclusion. Leg strength is directly linked to the health of the brain, heart, and even longevity. It's not just about walking better or having more balance. The legs are like natural pumps that propel the blood, oxygenate the organs, and keep the body alive and active. When they lose strength, the entire system suffers. Studies show that people with low leg strength have a higher risk of falls, memory problems, low circulation, and even emotional difficulties like anxiety and apathy. This happens because the leg muscles serve not only for movement. They activate hormones, stabilize the nervous system, and protect the body against accelerated decline. In other words, weak legs are not just an inconvenience. They are a warning sign. And that's why today, you'll understand that it's not just a lack of exercise. There are very simple routine habits that are socially encouraged, that are gradually erasing this strength without you realizing it. But the good news is that by identifying these habits and making simple changes, it's possible to regain the strength, security, and autonomy of the body. And it all starts now. The first habit is to wear excessively comfortable shoes all the time. This may seem strange. After all, who doesn't like comfort? But that's exactly where the problem lies. Flip-flops, shoes with excessive cushioning, very soft shoes. They all take away the natural effort that the leg and foot muscles should make when walking. And the less effort, the less stimulation. The body starts to depend on the footwear and stops using its own structure. Result? The calf, ankle, and thigh muscles slowly fade away. When using footwear that does everything for you, the foot doesn't need to adapt to the ground. The toes don't work. The heel doesn't absorb impact correctly, and all the musculature that should be activated simply isn't. It's like putting the body on a trampoline all day. It seems comfortable, but it weakens everything inside. And the worst part, since comfort is pleasant, the person doesn't realize the harm they're doing. But just observe. Someone who wears flip-flops all day, for example, almost always has more knee pain, less balance, and difficulty walking long distances. Many health and movement experts have already warned that excessively padded footwear is atrophying the natural strength of the legs and contributing to imbalance, falls, and instability. What was meant to protect is weakening. And those who already feel their legs are weak, their feet are painful, or their lower back is overburdened, may need to look at what they are wearing every day. Sometimes the problem is not in the exercises that are missing, but in the type of artificial support that has become the standard. The solution is not to go around barefoot or throw away your shoes. but to understand that the body needs to be challenged in the right measure. Alternate the use of firmer footwear. Walk barefoot indoors when possible, safely, and seek to feel the ground beneath your feet. This naturally activates the muscles, improves posture, and strengthens from the base up. A more active foot, a stronger leg. It's that simple. You may never have thought that excessive comfort could be part of the problem, but the human body was made to adapt to the ground, not to live suspended in foam all the time. If your legs are losing strength, it may not just be from lack of movement, but from lack of real stimulation in contact with the world. And it starts with the feet. The second habit is to constantly lean on things to do simple things. And this, without realizing it, turns off the leg muscles day by day. You know when you get up from a chair by pushing with your arms, or when you lean on a wall, a table, or even furniture to take the first steps. It seems normal, but this is telling your body, I don't need the strength of my legs. And the body obeys. It understands that the muscles are not being used and begins to turn them off. This type of ease becomes the standard without us realizing it. First, it's to get up, then it's to walk. Soon, it's to climb stairs, then to stand for more than 5 minutes. Before you know it, you're always looking for a point of support, a way to avoid the effort. But what seems like security is actually disguised weakness. The legs become dependent, unstable, and any small imbalance can turn into a fall. The body loses confidence in itself, and the person does too. The worst part is that it happens almost automatically. It's a silent habit that starts just to make it easier and turns into a chronic behavior. Leg strength is built through use. And every time you replace that use with external support, you're missing an opportunity to stimulate the muscles. Repeating this over days, weeks, months, creates a body that no longer responds on its own. The good news is that this cycle can be broken with small actions. Start by trying to get up from a chair without using your hands. At first, it may be difficult, but gradually the body responds. Use your own muscles as support. Feel your legs pushing off the ground. Every time you do this, you're sending a signal to your body. I'm still here. I still function. This activates, this strengthens, this changes everything. Don't be fooled by the small aids of everyday life. The body is like a machine. What is not used rusts. If you want stronger legs, you need to challenge them again, even if it's just to get up from a chair without support. It's in these simple moments that you regain your strength, because in the end, either you rely on the world or you rely on yourself. The third habit is to spend almost the whole day indoors, without taking in the sun, without seeing the sky, without contact with the external environment. It seems that it has nothing to do with the strength of the legs, but it does, and a lot. When you spend all day in closed environments with artificial light, without visual stimuli, without air circulating, your body begins to enter a state of energy economy. And one of the first systems it slows down is the engine, the legs. Natural light, air, movement, environmental variations. All this activates the senses and stimulates the brain to keep the body active. But when you live all day in closed places, in silence, in low light, the brain understands that there is no need to remain alert. It reduces the impulse, the rhythm, the strength. And this directly affects your disposition. You start walking less, you drag a little more, you lose the rhythm. And over time, your legs obey. They also slow down. In addition, the absence of sunlight dramatically reduces the production of vitamin D, essential for muscle and bone health. And the body without sun becomes soft, tired, and painful. That feeling of discouragement, of a withered body, of weak legs at the end of the afternoon may not just be fatigue. It may be a lack of life entering through the eyes, skin, and breath. The body is movement, and when everything around it becomes still and closed, it stops too. The solution is simpler than it seems. Open the windows early in the morning. Sit in the sun for 10 or 15 minutes a day. Walk in the yard or even on the balcony. See the sky. Feel the air. This sends a direct signal to the body. The day has begun. It's time to function. It may seem little, but this small contact with the outside world has a huge power to reactivate your muscles from within. It brings more willpower, more energy, and the desire to use your body again. The body doesn't just get stronger with training, it gets stronger with life in motion around it. When everything becomes closed, still, and repetitive, the body shuts off. But when you are exposed to light, air, colors, it lights up, and the legs that seemed tired before start to respond again. Sometimes what's missing for your strength to return is the outside world. The fourth habit is to avoid any kind of physical effort, even the smallest. And this happens without realizing it. Over time, we start to think we're protecting ourselves by not pushing too hard, by not bending down, by asking for help, even for simple things. And yes, in many cases, it's important to avoid movements that cause pain or risk. But when this becomes the rule for everything, the body understands it as a command. You no longer need strength, and it starts to shut down. That's how the legs lose their firmness, even without any illness. The person stops going up a small step, getting up from a chair without support, carrying a light bag. And the body understands that that type of movement is no longer necessary. The problem is that the less we do, the less capacity the body maintains, and this accumulates. Suddenly, what was difficult becomes impossible. This doesn't mean you need to make major efforts or movements that jeopardize your safety, quite the opposite. But what your body needs most now is small stimuli repeated with gentleness and frequency. If getting up from a chair is already difficult, that's fine. But try not to always avoid it. Try to use a little leg strength before leaning on your arms. If you can't climb stairs, that's fine. But walking a few more meters inside the house already helps a lot. The important thing is, don't stop trying. The body is like a plant. If you stop watering it, it will gradually wither. But with the right care, it reacts. It may take time, it may be at a different pace, but it responds. And every little movement you can still make is a gift. It's a chance to get stronger. Sometimes strength returns first in the mind, and over time the body follows. Protecting oneself is important, yes. But don't confuse protection with giving up. The legs need to be reminded that they are still useful, that they still have a role, even if it's little by little, even if it's with limitations. What destroys strength is not what you can't do. It's what you stop doing out of fear. And today may be the moment to start over, lightly, but with intention. The fifth habit, and perhaps the most harmful of all, is to believe that losing strength is part of life and that there is nothing left to do. It's when the person accepts weakness as something natural, as if it were an inevitable fate. This thought seems harmless, but it is what silences any attempt to react. Because when you believe that it's no use trying, the body listens to that, and it stops fighting alongside you. This idea takes root slowly, nurtured by years of comments like, "It's just age," "That's normal," "There's nothing to be done about it." And when the mind accepts it, the body obeys. You start moving less, taking less care of yourself, believing less in your own potential. And, without realizing it, your legs become weaker. Not because they lack the capacity, but because they've lost the command. The brain no longer sends the signal of strength. and everything fades away. The truth is that the body does age, yes, but what defines your quality of life is not your age on the calendar. It's how you react to what you feel. There are people who start regaining strength at 70, 75, 80 years old. Not because they are different, but because they believed there was still time. Strength begins in the mind. Then it goes to movement. And the body, even if injured, responds. It always responds. The thought of giving up weakens much more than time, and that's why this habit is the most destructive. It makes you drift away from yourself. It makes you forget your own power. But the good news is that this habit can also be broken. From the moment you decide to try again, slowly, carefully, something inside you awakens and your legs feel it. The body wants to cooperate. It just needs your signal. So if you've already heard that it's too late, stop listening. If you've already told yourself it's not worth it, erase that phrase, because it's still worth it. There's still a lot to recover. The body may be slower, but it's still yours. And if you take care of it, it will take care of you. Never believe it's too late to reconnect with your own strength, because as long as there's life, there's response. The first thing you need to know is, it is possible to regain strength in your legs, even after a long time of inactivity, but not with magic formulas or difficult workouts. Recovery begins with small, conscious gestures every day. It's like relearning to talk to your body. And this is done with movement, patience, and repetition. You don't need a gym. You don't need pain. You need determination. One of the simplest and most powerful exercises is to get up and sit down from a chair a few times a day without haste, respecting your limits. Can start with 2 or 3 reps, using arm support if needed. Over time, try to use your legs more. This movement alone already activates the thighs, glutes, calves, and improves balance. It's functional, it's accessible, and it prepares your body for the tasks of daily life. Another powerful practice is light walking. Even inside the house, walking from one room to another constantly with an upright posture and conscious breathing already activates circulation and reignites the muscles. If you can take a walk around the block, great. But if not, walking for 5 minutes 3 times a day already changes the body's energy. The legs need to be used, even if it's little but frequent. Stretching is also essential. Rigid legs are legs that don't want to move. A gentle stretch in the morning, another in the late afternoon, can relieve pain, increase flexibility, and prevent cramps. Lying down, sitting, or standing, always with care, respecting your limits. The feeling of lightness after a good stretch is almost immediate, and this gives you the desire to keep trying. Finally, hydrate well. It may seem silly, but dehydrated muscles are weaker, tenser, and less responsive. Drinking water throughout the day helps with circulation, muscle recovery, and even mood. Strength doesn't come just from exercise, it comes from care. And every small habit you create, every step you take, rebuilds the trust between you and your body. Recovery happens, and it starts now. Few people talk about it, but there are foods that are directly linked to leg strength and health. They help strengthen the muscles, improve circulation, reduce joint inflammation, and even reduce that feeling of heaviness and fatigue at the end of the day. The body needs movement, yes, but also needs the right nutrients to function well. It's like building a house. It's no use just raising the structure. You need to have the right material. One of the most important foods in this process is the egg. It is a complete source of quality protein, essential for rebuilding the leg muscles. If you're trying to recover strength, you need protein. And the egg is simple, accessible, and easy to digest. Another powerful ally is beet, which improves circulation, increases muscle oxygenation, and helps provide more energy in walks and everyday movements. It's also worth including foods rich in magnesium, such as bananas, avocados, and dark green leaves, because this mineral acts directly on muscle contraction, cramp prevention, and joint health. And we can't forget turmeric, or saffron of the earth, which has natural anti-inflammatory action. A pinch a day in soups, rice, or vegetables can already help reduce noticeable pain and swelling in the legs. The tip here is simple. You don't need to change everything at once, but start looking at your plate as part of your recovery. A well-nourished body responds better to movement. It gets stronger faster, gets tired less, and is better protected against injuries. You don't need expensive supplements. You need real food, and your body will thank you with more strength, more lightness, and more freedom to move. There is another very powerful way to regain the strength of the legs and, incidentally, relieve pain, improve mood, and bring more lightness to everyday life. Choose a light and pleasurable activity to move with consistency. It doesn't need to be intense. It doesn't need to hurt. It can be yoga, Pilates, water aerobics, swimming, whatever works for you. The secret is in the repetition, in the rhythm, and in the joy of moving with awareness. These activities have something in common. They respect the limits of the body and, at the same time, challenge gently. They work not only the muscles, but also the balance, breathing, flexibility, and focus. And all of this together strengthens the legs from the inside out. It's not just about gaining strength, it's about regaining confidence in your own movement, step by step. Many people who start Pilates, for example, discover muscles they didn't even remember existed. With yoga, there comes bodily awareness and relief from accumulated tensions. In the water, with water aerobics or swimming, the impact is reduced and the movement flows with lightness, even for those who feel pain outside the pool. These are options that welcome the body in any stage, without pressure, without haste, but with profound results. It's not about performance, it's about presence, about being there with your body, feeling it respond, whether at home, in a class with other people, or even in a simple online video. The important thing is to allow yourself to move with pleasure. Again, the strength of the legs returns, the balance returns, and along with them, the freedom to live with more autonomy, more security, and more joy. Before we close, I want to leave you with one final tip, perhaps the most important of all. Be more mindful of your own habits. Sometimes we live on autopilot and don't realize that certain behaviors are weakening our body. But when you start paying attention to how you stand up, walk, sit, and how much time you spend, still, you begin to understand what needs to change. And just the act of seeing it is the first step towards transformation. Don't judge yourself. Don't compare. Don't think you're behind. Everyone has their own pace, but those who observe with sincerity improve. And when you start looking at your day with different eyes, you'll realize you have many opportunities throughout it to move a little more, eat a little better, breathe with more presence, and trust your own legs again. If this video has helped you realize this, I want to invite you to go further. Write in the comments what habits you have that you now think may be getting in your way. It can be something simple or something you've never noticed before. Sharing this is a way to turn your reflection into action and also inspire other people who are going through the same thing as you. Strength begins when we take responsibility with care, not with guilt, but with awareness. Your body has memory, has a will to react, and it just needs small reminders to remember who it is. And sometimes that reminder comes from a comment, a conversation, a video like this. So leave your habit here. Let's talk. Let's evolve together. Many people believe they are too old to start something new, that strengthening their legs, regaining confidence in movement, or even finding pleasure in physical activity is something for those still in their prime. But this idea is what paralyzes the most, because the body never stops responding. It's the mind that sometimes stops believing. And from the moment you decide to act, even with small steps, the changes begin to happen. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, or older. What matters is what you choose to do now. You don't need to take leaps, you need to take steps. A gentle movement, a better food, a conscious breath, a 2-minute walk. All of this is a signal to the body that you're back, and it will react. It will give you more balance, more firmness, more energy. Not because you want to go back to being like before, but because you want to live better from now on. And this is possible. Always. If this video made sense to you, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell to not miss the next content. Here we talk for real, without magic formulas, but with real paths for you to recover your well-being. And now I want to invite you to comment down here. It's never too late to start over, to mark this moment as a turning point, a symbol that you decided to take better care of yourself. You are not alone. Many people like you are awakening to something that has always been inside, the desire to live with more freedom, more lightness, and more autonomy. Your body is capable. Your time is now. And if you start, even with small steps, you'll notice that life responds,